shootings. This is America in 2023. 3 weeks, 36 mass shootings. And again, this goes into, just kind of what I just said about how desensitized we are to it. This is, 30, that's a lot. It hasn't even been a full month. Like, what the fuck? Like, and you can't even keep track of all of it. You just can't. At least 10 people are dead and another 10 injured after a mass shooting in Monterey Park, California, Saturday night that happened as the city's large Asian American community was celebrating Lunar New Year weekend. A lot remains unknown, but the scenes of agony and horror are increasingly all too familiar in America. In fact, Saturday's mass shooting joins a staggering 35 others from just the first 3 weeks of 2023, per the Gun Violence Archive. So let's take a look at some of the data. Firearm injuries are now the leading cause of death among people younger than 24 in the United States, according to a study published in December 2022 edition of Pediatrics, the Journal of the American Academy of Pediatrics. From 2015 through 2020, there were at least 2,070 unintentional shootings by children under 18 in the U.S. Those shootings resulted in 765 deaths and 1,366 injuries in just a 5-year time period. So, mass shooting. Oh, I just got a text. Shorty on the way with some food and some cannabis. So, you know what I'm saying? My day's about to get a whole lot better. But anyway, mass shootings in the United States are on the rise. And again, it's like, this is, you see numbers like this, and it's like, still to this day, we have people who are like, oh, well, there's just not enough weapons on the streets, even though there's more guns than United States citizens on the streets. It's like, or, think about how much safer do guns really make us? Like, for instance, like having a shotgun in your home. Okay, that makes sense. Makes a burglar could come in, somebody could come in. Makes perfect sense to be able to defend your home. You can come out and do what you got to do. But just walking around with a gun in general, I get that in some places that may help you out. Like, for instance, like I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. It's a rather, dangerous place in a variety of areas, especially if you're just walking around. Okay, I can see how that could protect you. And we have our right to do that. But in a lot of cases, having a gun really won't make you safer, because if someone comes up on you and they already got their gun gone, if they already have their gun drawn, you're not really going to be able to pull it out in time to shoot them before they can shoot you. If you're already in a situation where guns are drawn and you don't have yours drawn already, you're just another person with another gun. You know what I mean? So in a lot of situations, guns really don't make people more safe. They just don't. I mean, it may give you the perception of safety, but if you're not the first person with a gun drawn, the shit's not going to keep you safer. And I think that that's something that goes over a lot of people's heads, especially too, like for people who like, again, it's your right, I guess, but like who collect all these guns. It's like, what, are you going to walk around everywhere with all these fucking weapons? No, you're not. So are they really keeping you more safe? No, they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. And already, look, this is the mass shootings. Last year, 647, 2021, 690. This year, 36 already. I mean, Open Analyze, a study published late last year in JAMA Network Open analyzed firearm deaths over the past 3 decades, a total of more than 1 million lives lost since 1990. I mean, like it's there's so much going on. And again, here is pointing out too, we're alone in these types of stats. Countries that have introduced laws to reduce gun-related deaths have achieved significant changes, a previous in-depth CNN analysis found. So they look at Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, Britain. Australia. Less than 2 weeks after Australia's worst mass shooting, the federal government implemented a new program, banned rapid fire rifles and shotguns, and unifying gun owner licensing and registrations across the country. In the next 10 years, gun deaths in Australia fell by more than 50%. So again, the argument that criminals will always get their hands on guns, well, sure, but they won't. A lot of the people carrying out these murders are just regular everyday people. They're not like career criminals. They just have access to guns. So it's not like there's some like street riddled person who has like all these connections. No, they're buying these weapons legally. South Africa, gun-related deaths almost halved over a 10-year period after new gun legislation. New Zealand, gun laws were swiftly amended after the 2019 Christchurch mass shootings, just 24 hours after the attack, in which 51 people were killed. Britain tightened its gun laws and banned most private handgun ownership after a mass shooting in 1996, a move that saw gun deaths drop by almost a quarter over a decade. Again, we have the data. We know what's up. It's just about making those gun manufacturers more money. Because again, like if you aren't the first person with a gun drawn on the streets, having a gun in your pocket in a holster won't save you. It just won't. Because the time it takes for you to reach in your pocket and pull out the gun, I'd have already shot your ass 4 or 5 times. So stop with the nonsense.